Well, a very good afternoon, everybody. This is Ambassador speaking, and I am the admin and owner of the European Wrestling Foundation Discord. And I just wanted to say hi to you today and bring to you a very special, a very special guide about the European Wrestling Foundation. And today, this is really an introduction to how the whole thing works, how the European Wrestling Foundation works, how we organise things on the Discord channel, and it'll be just hopefully all of you can read all of that and digest this information and watch this video back over again if you actually need to, and then we can just get going. So the first things first. You're looking at one of our arenas that we use here in the European Wrestling Foundation, which is the Showcase Arena. And this arena is for people who are just up and coming, just joined us here in the European Wrestling Foundation. They're newbies, or there might be some people that have been in the EWF for a while, and they may well be coming back down again because they're taking a break, or they just want to appear on Showcase and then work the way back up from the bottom up. And I have had people in the past request to do that, so it's a bit of a challenge to some people, and we've got to appeal to a wide range of people in the European Wrestling Foundation. So having a look at the events page now, the Discord is I access it from the PC as well as from my phone. Now, if you access Discord from a PC, you will see the 26 events that are actually listed from this coming Saturday, which is when our next show is. So you will see their Showcase, Showdown, which is this show here, and then our main flagship televised show called Saturday Night Main Event, where we see all of the flourishing current EWF superstars in action, the best of the best. And then below that, we've got a whole host of other shows like live house shows, pay-per-view events, and much, much more sometimes on there. So that's at the very top left of the Discord, just under where it says European Wrestling Foundation. Okay. Now on your phone, you may not have access to that. Just underneath there, it says Browse Channels. Now here, you've got a choice as to whether you want to see all of the channels or whether you want to hide some of them, and then you can just go through and click or unclick on the right hand side the ticks there to whichever one you decide that you may want to see or not. There is a channel for the moderator, and that's where I get community updates from Discord. And then what we've got next is it's what's known as the Partner eFed Hub. Now, we are a member of eFed Hub, a place where at the moment they've got 612 members, and the eFed Hub is a place where you can join eFeds, you can link in with other eFed owners, join other eFeds, and it's just a huge hub really for everybody to kind of exchange ideas, advertise their own eFeds. So I've applied to become a member of that so the European Wrestling Foundation get that on the eFed Hub. And in order to do that, we have to advertise them as well, which I have done. And that's why that hub is there. So you're free to join the server from there. And then just underneath that, we have a section for announcements. Now, I only really post things in there if it's really important. Okay. So, the last announcement was on the 29th of September, and it was about EWF Wednesday Night Wipeout being taken off the air for now because we simply don't have enough roster members at the moment to justify having two main branded shows. However, after I did that, a few people joined, and what that tells me is that I'm encouraged by that. I'm encouraged by the fact that new people are coming in all the time into the European Wrestling Foundation. And if that continues to happen, then Wipeout most definitely will return, or certainly a second branded show will return. I'm not sure about Wednesday nights, because Wednesday nights is a midweek night and it can be quite difficult for people to tune in. and also for me to actually stream on that evening. But we'll certainly be looking at a second branded show, even if the second branded show happens, say, on a Friday night or on a Sunday night. It doesn't really matter, but as long as we have the two, because then we can split the roster again, and we can have the two branded shows. So important announcements, please look at those. They're normally sent out to everybody, or they might not be tagged to everybody, but if you see that is lit up white, that announcements channel, tune into it, read what's been written on there. When I normally start up a Discord server, what I don't do is just simply start up a Discord server. What I do happen to do is spend hours and hours actually making it up, making it as detailed as what it is today, writing in the rules, how to get started guides, such as this one here today. Excuse me. What I do, I don't expect people to do it, but it'd be nice if people did do it. There is an explanation in the how to get started, so welcome guide and rules, just get started there, read through that, because the one thing that tends to happen when people join the European Wrestling Foundation on the Discord is the first thing they say is, what is this place? Right? Some people don't know what it is. Well, the easy answer to that is read the guidance that's being given on there, because I'm not always online to explain everything to every single person that joins in detail. And what I'm trying to do that by putting the guide up there is I'm trying to help people by giving them a guide so they can read through it that might answer most of the questions that people have got. All right. If after having read the How to Get Started guide you still have questions, fine, then you can approach me via DM and ask me further questions. We do have a moderator whose name is Jasmine. She's very helpful, and I'm sure she'll try and answer any questions that you have. But if I've already answered the questions that I'm being asked in the How to Get Started or the server rules, then I would prefer it if people read the How to Get Started section and the server rules first, and then ask me questions afterwards, because I've spent a great deal of time writing up the server rules and how to get started, so that I'm not in a position where I have to explain everything to every single person that signs up or joins the EWF. So how to get started in server rules. The server rules were started on the 22nd of May 2025. And the last one was edited in on the 25th of September. So May, June, July, August. You're talking like 4 months now. All right, and they get added to from time to time. Next in the welcome guide and rules, we have a 12A guide. Now, this is probably won't mean very much. The BBFC is not an American organisation or a European organisation. It's a British Board of Film Classification. And what they do is they are in control of issuing certificates to films being shown in the cinema in the UK, DVDs, Netflix stuff that's going to be shown in the UK. And they basically give it a certificate, and the certificate could be anything from U, which is universal, suitable for all, to PG, and then it's 12A, 12, 15, and 18 years of age. And this is how it works in the UK. I know it doesn't work like that elsewhere, but I've used the 12A guide because I'm aware that to join Discord, you need to be 13 years of age. Now, there may well be people who are here amongst us on this server who are not aged 13 or over. I would assume and hope that most people are, because otherwise they shouldn't be using Discord. But we all know that some children and young people do use social media, and they're accessing it even though they're not old enough to be accessing it. So what I want to do is not to assume that young people are not among us here in the European Wrestling Foundation. Now, personally, I don't particularly enjoy lots of gore, horror, violence, and references to other things anyway. It's not, I think it's much more enjoyable when you can be creative without those kind of excessive using those terms excessively. So there is a description there about all the way through from discrimination, drug use, language, suicide and self-harm, threat and horror, violence, and all of that kind of thing, which I would again encourage people to read and try and understand what all this means. Okay? Because it's a guide really that I want people to use when they're writing their role plays, when they're writing their promos, when they're recording an audio promo for an upcoming match here in the EWF. All right, doesn't say you can't say things. It doesn't say you can't swear. But it's references to, isn't it? It's not depicting and massively in strong detail what is going on here. And that would be kind of where the guidance is, I think, in terms of age ranges of films and how they're. I'm not an expert in this field, but it's just a guide. It's just a place to start. We are not an NSFW server, all right, not suitable for work. Those kind of servers depict adult content for adults, and that is not what we're about here. And I have had cause to ban people in the past that have posted spam and very, very explicit material on servers that I've been admin for before and a part of before that have been reported to Discord. The outcome of which I didn't know about, I wasn't going to be informed about, but I'm assuming then that it could have legal implications. Because people have to take responsibility for what they're going to be posting on social media, as well as the actual social media providers being serious about it as well. So it's not something to be lighthearted about. This is serious when these kind of things happen. I'm sure everybody's heard of raids on Discord servers. We've all got a responsibility towards safeguarding, every single person on the server, and within that in mind, this guide acts as a starting point, I think, for us to be considerate about everybody else and what you want to read on there, because you and I don't have control on what somebody else chooses to post. They could post literally absolutely everything, but what we can do is control how it's dealt with afterwards. And that's my view, that this is what I think is a middle ground in terms of looking at what's appropriate for everybody, in terms of everyone enjoying this as a hobby. We're all pretending to be professional wrestlers online, and I'm pretending to be the owner of the European Wrestling Foundation. It is a fantasy, isn't it? But lots of people enjoy it, and lots of people are on here to enjoy it, and they like role playing and writing stories. I just want to make sure that there are boundaries. I just want to make sure that we're all actually enjoying this. And so that's what the 12A guide is all about. Okay, moving on to character creations. Now, when you join the European Wrestling Foundation, you will hopefully come in and ask questions, get a feel for what's going on here, or you might be just completely, absolutely confused as to what you're supposed to be doing. And, that's absolutely fine if you are, because there's plenty of people here that hopefully will help you. However, when you join, if you really want a wrestler and you want to be active, okay, what I mean by, you want to have somebody create a wrestler for you in the 2K25 game, the WWE, the wrestling game, somebody needs to create it for you, or you've got one, then you fill out this profile. Now, I would appreciate people using the one that's pinned, and the reason for that is that contains all of the information that we need. Now, some people are very good at doing this, and some other people, all they do is post a screenshot of their picture of their character online. And I don't, pictures are helpful, but we need to have a bit of backstory, all right? Because it doesn't, a picture of somebody just tells me that they've got a character in the game. It doesn't tell me how high they are. It doesn't tell me how much they weigh, their wrestling style. It doesn't tell me what their signatures and finishes are. It doesn't give me any information about their background and why they're here in the European Wrestling Foundation. And it's not helpful for me or the people that are trying to download and upload these characters. All right. And also be aware that if you give us a hashtag, okay, don't forget to check how many pages there are. Because one thing I don't enjoy is going online and finding I've got to sift through 50 pages of characters on there because somebody's put, oh, mine's in WWA. Yeah, it's not helpful. Try and be specific. Try and help us out, because if we are delayed in finding your character or we're not able to download it because we can't find it, you're not going to get booked on a show and you're going to have to wait. And then you're going to be chasing us up and saying, what's going on, what's going on? It's helpful if in the first instance you give us as much information as you can to help us find your character within the game. And if it's not within the game or you don't have the game, let us know. Again, that's what the console bit is at the bottom. Or there's a question actually in the pinned messages right at the very bottom saying, can we download your character or would you like them creating? Okay. Now, somebody joined the server yesterday and said, I don't know what that question means. All right. And that's because they hadn't read the how to get started and they hadn't read the server rules. And they hadn't even asked what that question actually means. They were very confused. All right. So please look at the pinned message and use that as an example if you want. The next thing is request changes to your wrestler, and that is where anyone that's involved in creating and or you guys, if you want changes to your wrestler, like a move set, a finisher, signature, entrance, that kind of thing, you post the request in there. Okay, that's where you request changes to your wrestler, and then it'll be up to either myself or Jasmine to go in to the game and edit that within your character. And any editing that goes on needs to be re-uploaded. Okay, so at that point, I'm just going to jump down to, well, actually, no, it's in the same channel. What I will do, once those changes have been made, I will ping the person that's involved and confirm that those changes have now occurred and your character is now up to date. Okay. So, changing entrance music, character entrance music links. This is really, really important. So, in the wrestling business, if all we ever had was wrestlers coming out from behind the curtain or backstage area and walking down to the crowd cheering and absolutely nothing else, no lights, no music, it would soon become quite boring to many, many people. All right? Don't forget, this is an entertainment industry. All right, wrestling, it is entertainment, okay? It is kind of sporty and athletic, and it's a very skilled activity, a very skilled entertainment business. But without the lights, without the cameras, and without the music, there isn't really much of a show, okay? So please remember, if you have posted a profile, post your entrance music here. And that is what will be played as your wrestler comes out from the backstage area and makes their way down to the ring. You can change it if you wish, as many times as you wish. Please delete the old one. Okay, don't leave two on there, because I then might get confused while I'm streaming and play the old one by mistake. Okay, because that's happened many times. And then all you get is a message from somebody saying, you played the wrong music. Oh, okay, you've got two on there. So which one is it? Which one of the two is it? Okay, so creative tasks ongoing, and Jasmine's been using this a lot. She's telling us who she's working on, when she's going to be doing it. It's all really good, all right? Keeping us all up to date about what's going on in there. It's a lot of work to run an eFed, guys. Moving down to text channels, there's the welcome channel, and as you know, that is the one that gets bumped every 2 hours because we advertise on Discord, And if you bump it every 2 hours, it goes to the top of the list, and hopefully people will see us first before they start considering anybody else. So that's what the welcome channel is. Please welcome people in, guys, that join us. You know, there's so many people that just join and leave within 5 minutes. You wouldn't believe how many people join a Discord server, and if they don't get a response within 5 minutes, they leave. All right? So please, if you're online, none of us can be online 24/7. All right? But if you are and you see someone popping in there and they don't know what this is all about, and they're worried about what they've just gotten themselves into, please say hi and welcome them in. Do what you can. I'm not expecting people to have the knowledge that maybe I might have or somebody else might have, but just make them feel welcome, and so they stay. They choose to stay. The next text channel is EWF YouTube channel. Look, if you're watching this show now, I'm sure you know how to access the YouTube. This is where all of the live action takes place. But not only that, it's where all of the library, going right the way back to when we first started producing shows here in the EWF in 2012. So we're looking at nearly 13, 14 years of doing this now, which is awesome. Then we've got the general chat channel, and that's where everything goes on in there. Win, loss, draw stats. That was something that was being done after each show. I am really not sure that that's going to be continuing going forward, because that's not something that I was doing. It was something that somebody else was doing. Yeah, I think for me, I don't know. I'm not a very good spreadsheet guy. And the person that was doing this is no longer with us, so I'm kind of thinking it's probably not going to continue, but I'll leave the information on there that is on there. I have produced one episode of an EWF podcast. It's similar to this, actually, more of an introduction to the EWF, and I will probably be posting this guide in a separate area, I think, than that one. From there, we've got a general gaming channel, and again, if you play multiple games like a lot of people seem to here on the Discord, you often see messages coming up to say, well, so-and-so is playing so-and-so. Well, that's great. Let's have a chat about gaming in this channel. In the role-play and promo channel, this is, a EFED, which means that role-plays and promos are encouraged. Now, I've relaxed the rules on this since we first became an EFED back in May of this year, because what I realise is that a lot of people have very, very busy lives outside of EFEDs, including me. And what I don't want to do is try and force people to do something that they haven't got time to do or they actually don't particularly enjoy doing. Some people run out of ideas, role playing, writing lots. But what I found a lot of people tend to do is they don't mind writing a promo which has got about half a dozen sentences on it, and it's great because the social media gets used a lot. All right. So if you haven't got time to write long role plays, please don't worry. You will not be penalised. Okay. What will happen, though, is that if I can see that you've been active on the Discord, and what I mean by that is if you've been typing in any chat channel, said hi, hello, how you doing, and you've done something, that will be counted towards activity. But if I can't trace that back, and I'm normally looking between 7 and 14 days back now, for 14 days and you've done nothing, absolutely nothing, that will be classed as inactive. So what does that mean? Well, that means that your character will be the stats in game will be minimized, which means you've got a much less likely chance of winning any matches. If you are booked, you've got much less chance of being booked, and you may then be sent to EWF Showcase to redevelop yourself as a character And if you're not active, then you will remain on EWF Showcase until you become active again. All right, so please try. You can let us know. If you really are not going to be active, or you know that you're not going to be active, then please just let us know. There's a timeout and match request channel. The timeout, you just put in there, I'm going to be out for a couple of weeks. I've got to take some time out. You don't even need a reason. I'm out for a couple of weeks. All right. This is not your life. This is not your job. No, this is a hobby. So we but it's nice if people inform us. You've got in character anytime, so that's only in character. Roleplay feedback. Look, people are saying feedback ? Feedback. Look, this is about if someone takes the time to write a roleplay or a promo. Let's encourage people. Let's give them nice feedback. Let's give them, encouragement, because they're taking their time out to do it. And some people are writing some pretty awesome ones. So let's give some people some nice feedback in the channel. Audio promos, you can do those on your mobile phones. A couple of people have done them. And social media, I started this off quite some time ago. People are now just sort of putting at so-and-so and then writing their social media promos. But this actually started out as a fake Twitter account. And I started off by providing the link to the fake Twitter account, I think probably at the very top of the channel. And tweet generator, okay? And that is something that people could still use, all right, because I think people are probably not looking all the way up there. But this is what you can use to create a fake Twitter account, and it's actually quite fun. So timeout and match requests, you've got timeout. We've talked about that already. Request a match, that is a very busy channel at the moment. You can request matches from the very first day that you join us here in the EWF. It doesn't matter what show you're on, you can just ask for matches. But just bear in mind that if you've only just joined us and you've yet to make your debut, don't go asking for title matches, all right, because it's unrealistic. It wouldn't happen in any wrestling promotion on this land that someone, unknown person, comes in and immediately wants a title match. It just doesn't work like that. You have to earn it. Just below that, we've got show cards and results. You've got the EWF Showcase card and result. Main event, that's the flagship televised show at the moment. Wipeout, that's the one we've had, and it's just at the moment not up and running. And then EWF Live. Now, this is an interesting one. Now, what you can do on this one, this is all about people putting their names forward for a house show. Now, the next one is actually this coming Sunday on the 12th of October. And there's 4 matches there. And these are all people that have put their names down saying they want to be on the show. It's basically a buy-in, all right? So this can be anybody. This could be somebody on Showcase. I will give you a match. If you've asked for one on the house show, you'll be on it. Don't you worry about that. So not only are you going to be on Showcase if you're making your debut, you could be on house show. That's two shows a week right from the very start. And I've put house shows in every other week now, so people could quite easily see themselves live twice a week. Okay? And I think that's just a way of acknowledging the hard work that people are putting in here in the EWF. It's also a way that it hopefully separates us out from other feds that don't have regular weekly shows. And even if they did, you're not getting booked every week, and then you're finding out when you tune into the show that you're actually not even on the show. It's a little bit demoralizing, and I think that here we always put the cards up first, up front. That's why we always do that. Everyone knows whether they're on the show. And whilst I appreciate that by not telling people if they're on or not, everybody should tune in, but that's not how it works. Not everybody will tune in. So let's just, we'll work through, the next one will go up on Sunday for the next house show, and then hopefully lots of people will be joining in. EWF Archives, that's me posting just very, very old stuff coming in. And that was 5 days ago, the one that was posted on there at the moment. That'll probably be every week. I'll be posting an Academy show for everybody, or one from the archives, let's put it that way. Just a little bit of fun there. pay-per-view cards and results, Summer Bash, Final Frontier, Haunted Hollows. Well, Haunted Hollows is at the moment in the, we're in the sort of state of actually organising it. We are having monthly pay-per-views here in the EWF at the moment. Okay, a couple of matches already been announced on that card. More to follow. Vacancies, yeah, we do occasionally advertise for moderators or streamers or people just to perhaps even a general manager. We have had 2 previous general managers here in the EWF. One was Saturday Night Main Event, the other one was Wipeout. And a general manager will book those cards, will book those shows. So we, at the moment, I'm the GM of Saturday Night Main Event and Showcase. But if you stick around for long enough and you become a valued member of the community here in the EWF, I would more than be happy to appoint a GM to one of the brands. So that wouldn't be a problem to me. So then we've just got the roster, and this is always kept up to date. At the moment with Showcase, we've got some people on there that are just they want to be on Showcase. They don't want to be any more active than what they are. They can't, for whatever reason, be any more active than what they are. So they're on this show, and there's some other new guys that have just joined us. Saturday Night Main Event really should only be for active people, and if you're not active or you know you're not going to be active, then just be aware that you're probably not going to remain on Saturday Night Main Event for very much longer if you're not. And that is something that I'm constantly reviewing every single week. Who's been saying what on the Discord, and I've got ways of finding out who's been active and who hasn't been. And if you haven't been active for 7 days, you're on the radar. And if it's 14, most certainly you won't be on Saturday Night Main Event moving forwards. And then I've got just at the bottom there an out of character backstage catering area. Very occasionally it'd be just nice, I think, sometimes for us to jump into a mic or jump online into an audio chat and just have a hello, how you doing? If someone's on there and I'm on there, I've got no problem with plugging the mic into my PC. I mean, it's plugged into the PS5 at the moment and just jumping in there and going, hi, are you okay? How are we all doing? It's nice. It's part of the community, and I think it's a really nice thing to do. So that's why I've included that down there. Anyway, I think that wraps it up for now here on EWF Showcase Arena here. As you can see, I just wanted to run through that with you, and hopefully that's cleared up many questions that you may have asked. A little bit of a guide, and I will post this onto the Discord, and hopefully you can listen to the video, and then you'll be much more informed about what the Discord is all about. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much indeed, and we'll see you very soon, and good night.